Shalom, Shalom, Shabbat, Adonai. Welcome to the Sixth Exodus program. Thank you for listening. The name of this segment is No Ransom Accepted. No Ransom Accepted. I'd like to read to you Psalms 49, the entire chapter. Here are 20 verses. There may be comments at the end, but they are not planned at this time. Subtopic: In too deep. There's no way out. Here it is. All ye people, give ear, all you inhabitants of the world, both low and high, rich and poor, together. My mouth shall speak of wisdom, and the meditation of my heart shall be of understanding. I will incline my ear to a proverb. I will open my dark sayings upon the harp. Wherefore should I fear in the days of evil, when the iniquities of my heels shall compass me about? They that trust in their wealth and boast themselves in the multitude of their riches, none of them can by any means redeem his brother, nor give to God a ransom for him. For the redemption of their souls is precious, and it ceases forever, that he should still live forever and not see corruption. For he seeth that wise men die, likewise the fool and the brutish person perish, and leave their wealth to others. Their inward thoughts is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling place to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. Nevertheless, men being in honor abideth not. He is like the beasts that perish. This their way is their folly, yet their posterity approve their saying, Selah. Like sheep they are laid in the grave. Death shall feed on them, and the upright shall have dominion over them in the morning, and their beauty shall consume in the grave from their dwelling. But God will redeem my soul from the power of the grave, for he shall receive me, Selah. Be not thou afraid when one is made rich, when the glory of his house is increased. For when he dieth, he shall carry nothing away. His glory shall descend after him. Though while he live, he bless his soul, and men will praise thee when thou dost will thyself. I'd like to redirect your attention to Job chapter 20 and 21. It goes along the same subject. Then answered Zophar the Naamathite and said, Therefore do my thoughts cease, therefore do my thoughts cause me to answer, and for this I make haste. I have heard the check of my reproach, and the spirit of my understanding causes me to answer. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reaches to the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? He shall fly away as a dream, and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. The eye also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place be any more behold him. His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. His bones are full of the sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. Though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue, though he spares it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth, yet his meat in his bowels is turned. It is the gall of asp within him. He hath swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. God shall cast them out of his belly. He shall suck the poison of asps. The viper's tongue shall slay him. He shall not see the rivers, the floods, the brooks of honey and butter. That which he labors for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein, because he has oppressed and forsaken the poor, because he has violently taken away an house which he buildeth not. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desires. There shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods. In the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Then he is about to fill his belly. God shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. It is drawn and come out of the body, yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terror are upon him. All darkness shall be hid in his secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him. It shall fall, it shall go ill with him. This is left of his tabernacle. The heavens shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. The increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath. This is the portion of a wicked man from God, and the heritage appointed unto him by God. Chapter 22, the book of Job. But Job answered and said, Hear diligently my speech, and let this be your consolation. Suffer me that I may speak, and after that I have spoken, mock on. As for me, is my complaint to man, and if it were not so, why should not my spirit be troubled? Mark me, and be astonished, and lay your hand upon your mouth. Even when I remembered, I am afraid, and trembling taketh hold upon my flesh. Wherefore do the wicked live, become old, yea, almighty in power? Their seed is established in their sight with them, and their offsprings before their eyes. Their houses are safe from fear, neither is the rod of God upon them. Their bull gathereth and faileth not. Their cow calveth, it ceases not her calf. They send forth their little ones like a flock, and their children dance. They take the timbrel and the harp, and rejoice at the sound of the organ. They spread their days in wealth, they spend their days in wealth, and in a moment go down to the grave. Therefore they say unto God, Depart from us, for we do not desire the knowledge of thy ways. What is the Almighty that we should serve him? And what profit should we have if we pray unto him? Lo, their good is not in their heart, in their hands. The counsel of the wicked is far from me. How oft is the candle of the wicked put out, and how oft cometh their destruction upon them. God distributed sorrow in his anger. They are as trouble before the wind, and as chaff that the storm carries away. God layeth up his iniquities for his children, and rewardeth him, and he shall know it. His eyes shall see his destruction, and he shall drink of the wrath of the Almighty. For what pleasure has he in his own house after him, when the number of his months is cut off in the midst? Shall they teach God knowledge? Sing their judgment those that are on high. One dieth in his full strength, being wholly at ease and quiet. His beasts are full of milk, and his bones are moistened with marrow. And another dieth in the bitterness of his soul, and never eateth with pleasure. They shall lie down like in the dust, and the worms shall cover them. Behold, I know your thoughts and your devices, which ye wrongfully imagine against me. For ye say, where is the house of the prince? And where are the dwelling places of the wicked? Have ye not asked them that go by the way? And do ye not know their tokens, that the wicked is reserved to the day of destruction? They shall be brought forth to the day of wrath. Who shall declare his way to his face? And who shall repay him what he has done? Yet shall he be brought to the grave, and shall remain in the tomb. Then Eliphaz the Temanite answered and said, Can a man be profitable unto God, as he that is wise may be profitable unto himself? Is it any pleasure to the Almighty that thou art righteous, or is it gain to him that thou mayest thy ways perfect? Will he protect thee for fear of thee? Will he enter with thee into judgment? Is not the wickedness great, and their iniquities infinite? For thou hast taken a pledge from thy brother for naught, and strippeth the naked for their clothing. Thou hast not given water to the weary to drink, and thou hast withholden bread from the hungry. But as for the mighty man he has on earth, and the honorable man dwelt in it, thou hast sent widows away empty, and the arms of the fatherless have ye broken. Therefore snares are round about thee, and sudden fear troubleth thee, or darkness that thou hast not seen, and abundance of water cover thee. Is not God in the height of heaven? And behold, the heights of the stars, how high are they? And thou sayest, how does God know? Can he judge through the dark clouds? Thick clouds are a covering to him, that he seeth not, and he walketh in the circuits of heaven. Hast thou marked the old ways which wicked men have trodden, which were cut down out of time, whose foundation was overflown with a flood? Which says unto God, Depart from us. And what can the Almighty do for them? Yet he fills their houses with good things. But the counsel of the wicked is far from me. The righteous sees it, and are glad, and the innocents laugh them to scorn. Whereas our substance is cut down, but the remnant of them the fire consumeth. Acquainteth not thyself with him, and be at peace. Thereby good shall come unto thee. Receive, I pray thee, the law from his mouth, and lay up his words in thy heart. If thou return to the Almighty, thou shalt be built up. Thou shalt put away iniquities far from thy tabernacle. Then shalt thou lay up gold as dust, and gold of Ophir as the stones of the brooks. Yea, the Almighty shall be thy defense, and thou shalt have plenty of silver. For then shalt thou have thy delight in the Almighty, and thou shalt lift up thy face unto God. Thou shalt make the prayers of him, and he shall hear thee, and thou shalt pay thy vows. Thou shalt also decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee, and the light shall shine upon thy ways. When men are cast down, then thou shalt say, there is lifting up, and he shall save the humble person. He shall deliver the islands from the innocent, and it shall deliver by the pureness of thine hands. Chapter 23. Then Job answered and said, even the day of thy complaint bitter, my stroke is heavier than my groaning. Oh, that I knew where I might find him, that I might come even to his seat. I will order my cause before him, and fill my mouth with arguments. I would know the words which he would answer me, and understand what he would say unto me. Will, will he plead against me with his great power? No, but he will put strength in me. There the righteous might dispute with him. So should I be delivered forever from my judge. Behold, I go forward, but he is not there, and backwards, but I cannot perceive him. On the left hand, where he doth work, but I cannot behold him. He hideth himself on the right hand, that I cannot see him. But he knoweth the way that I take. When he has tried me, I shall come forth as gold. My foot has held his steps. His ways have I kept, and not declined. Neither have I gone back from the commandments of his lips. I have esteemed the words of his mouth more than my necessary food. But he is in one mind, and who can turn him what his soul desires, even that he doth? For he performeth the thing that is appointed for me, and many such things are with him. Wherefore am I troubled at his presence? When I consider, I am afraid of him. For God maketh my heart soft, and the Almighty troubleth me, because I was not cut off before the darkness, neither has he covered the darkness from my face. Chapter 24. Why, seeing times are not hidden from the Almighty, do they know him not, see his days? Some remove the landmarks, they violently take away flocks and feed thereof. They drive away the ass of the fatherless. They take the widow's ox for a pledge. They turn the needy out of the way. The poor of the earth hide themselves together. Behold, as wild asses in the desert, they go forth to their work, rising before times for a prey. The wilderness yieldeth food for them and for their children. They reap every one his corn in the field, and they gathereth vintage for the wicked. They cause the naked to lodge without clothing, that they have no covering in the cold. They are wet with the showers of the mountains and embrace the rocks for what of a shelter. They pluck the fatherless from the breast and take a pledge of the poor. They cause him to go naked without clothing, and they take away the shelf from the hungry, which make oil within their walls, and tread their vineyards, and snuff thirst. Men groan from out of the city, and the soul of the wounded cry out, yet God layeth not falling to them. They are of those that rebel against the light. They know not the ways thereof, nor abide in the path thereof. The murderer rising with the light, killing the poor and the needy, and in the night is a thief. The eye also of the adulterer waiteth for the twilight, saying, no eye shall see me, and disguises his face. In the dark they dig through houses which they had marked for themselves. In the daytime they know not the light, for the morning is to them even as the shadows of death. If one know them, they are in the terrors of the shadows of death. He is swift as the waters. Their portion is cursed, and the earth he beholdeth not the ways of the vineyards. Drought and heat consumeth the snow waters. So doth the grave those which have sinned. The womb shall forget him. The worm shall feed sweetly on him. He shall be no more remembered, and wickedness shall be broken as a tree. He evil entreateth the barren that beareth not, and doth not good to the widow. He draweth also the mighty with his power. He rises up, and no man is sure of life. Though it be given to him to be in safety, whereon he resteth, yet his eyes are upon their ways. They are exalted for a little while, but are gone and brought low. They are taken out of the way of all others, and cut off as the top of the ears of corn. And if it be not so, who shall make me a liar, and make my speech worth nothing? Okay, I'm going to stop there. Now make this segment too long. I like to continue, but I've done a segment on Job, and I read through the whole book of Job, and it's beautiful. It's somewhat difficult to read through the whole thing for me because I know the story of Job, but yet I can see the story inside of the story. I can see the story of Job, and I can see stories to other people also, and to other people that God has messages for. They are in the story of Job or in the book of Job. But what I read to you is concerning the Jewish people, which are the inhabitants of Jerusalem, the treatment of them to people in the world, their neighbors, and what they do. to their neighbors and to us who are slaves in America, and what they do to the people who lives with them, the who their neighbors there with them in Israel, the treatment of them, and the treatment of us here in America as slaves for 400 years. And they know they are not Hebrew. They only came there in 1948. But yet they lie. But here in the book of Job, it tells the whole story. So God is building up, all these years, building up. And the pressure pot is going to bust, and it's going to be trouble for those enemies. Okay, this ends the segment now. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.